Looking back at my college years, there aren't too many fond memories. I hated going to college, apart from having a small circle of really close friends, and there wasn't anything I enjoyed genuinely that much, except for one game. Back in college, almost every single guy had this installed on their laptop. That game was Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, just for some backstory, my college had given every student a Dell Bostro laptop. It was basically designed for Excel sheets, PowerPoint presentations, and doing assignments. Gaming exactly wasn't the priority, but that wasn't going to stop us. This wasn't a gaming laptop at all. Most of the laptops didn't even have a dedicated graphics cards. Nobody was comparing RAMs or other specifications, and nobody was asking if the game supported ray tracing. If a game launched without crashing, that was a pretty big win for us. And somehow, Most Wanted ran beautifully. I can't even remember who got hold of the game first, but once it appeared, it spread through the college like a virus. We didn't have amazing internet speeds back then, but what we did have was a great LAN connection. And within days, everybody seemed to have a copy of the game. One guy installed it, then another, and then it spread. And before long, almost every laptop in college had Need for Speed Most Wanted sitting on it. And this wasn't even a new game. We were playing it around 2011 or 2012, years after it had launched. Yet somehow, it still felt more exciting than a lot of newer games, which says a lot about how good Need for Speed Most Wanted was. Now, this game made some incredibly boring college lectures much more bearable. And one of the reasons it spread so quickly was because it was incredibly easy to get into. The story is simple. You get cheated out of your car by Razor, the villain behind it all. You climb a list of 15 rival racers called the blacklist. You win races, upgrade your cars, avoid the police, and keep moving up the rankings. That's pretty much it. No complicated systems, no 20-hour tutorial, no battle pass, no online progression. Just pick up the controller and start having fun. And honestly, that's part of why it works so well. Now, the racing itself was also quite good, but what really stood out was the customization. Everybody remembers that iconic BMW M3 GTR. I would go as far to say it's probably the most iconic car in Need for Speed history. But beyond that, the customization options were fantastic. Paint jobs, body kits, decals, visual upgrades. Everybody's car looked completely different. I remember walking around college and seeing 10 versions of the same car, all customized in completely different ways. That was just part of the fun. Then there was the speed breaker mechanic, which was basically Max Payne in a racing game. At the press of a button, time slowed down, and you could thread your car through impossible gaps or make turns that you had no business to make. It was ridiculous. And the most fun I had was using the speed breakers to crash through cop cars. It was brilliant. But let's be honest, the real star of Most Wanted wasn't the racing, it was the police. EA absolutely nailed the pursuit system. The more trouble you caused, the higher your heat level became. More police cars, more roadblocks, more helicopters, more chaos. Eventually, it felt like one car against an entire army. And then you had Pursuit Breakers, the game changer. Now, these were huge environmental traps that could crush police cars and give you a chance to escape. The satisfaction of having six cars chasing you and then dropping a water tower or a gas station roof on them never got old. I've played a lot of racing games since, Nothing quite matches that feeling. As you raced and escaped the cops, you'd eventually earn enough bounty and reputation to challenge the blacklist drivers. And this is where the progression system really shined. Each rival felt like a boss battle. New cutscenes, new races, new rewards, new areas unlocking. The higher you climbed, the tougher things became. But it never felt unfair. The game always gave you just enough progression to keep you pushing forward. My favorite reward system was the pink slips. After beating a rival, you'd have a chance to win their car. It's not a guarantee, but a chance. You had to pick from random markers and hope you got lucky. That risk reward system was fantastic. Sometimes you'd walk away with an amazing car, sometimes you'd walk away disappointed, but it made every victory feel exciting. And of course, no discussion about Most Wanted is complete without mentioning the soundtrack. Early 2000s EA games simply didn't miss. The game introduced me to bands I still listen to today. Blinded in Chains by Avenged Sevenfold, that's a classic. Hand of Blood by Bullet for My Valentine, rock, hip hop, everything fit perfectly. The soundtrack wasn't background noise, it was part of the experience. Playing Most Wanted today is obviously very different from playing it in college. Back then, I could lose entire evenings to it. Today, as a dad, I usually get 20 or 30 minutes after work and after spending a lot of time with my son. But surprisingly, Most Wanted still works. One race, one police chase, one step closer to the next blacklist rival. The game was built for short bursts long before that became a design philosophy. At the time of recording this video, I've already beaten a few blacklist drivers and I'm slowly working my way up the rankings again. And honestly, I'm having just as much fun as I did back then. When I look back at my college years, Most Wanted probably wasn't the greatest game available. It wasn't the most realistic racer, it wasn't the best looking, but every student seemed to have it installed. And that tells you everything you need to know. It was fun, it was fast, and it created memories. Now, I'm a little curious. What was that game for you? The game that everyone had, the game that everyone played? Let me know it in the comments. And if you'd like to join me as I revisit more classics from the PS2 era and see how they hold up as a dad with limited gaming time, please consider subscribing. Until next time, take care.